Marcus, the floor is yours. You should be able to share your presentation right now.
Okay, thank you. Let me check if I can do it because I have some restrictions now here. Apologize.
No worries. If you're unable to join, we do have your presentation, I believe, with us. So we can also share that as
because
well.
I'm using I'm using the Mac, so this is
no worries. My colleague here will share it for you, and you can just navigate with your voice when to change the slides.
okay. Thank you.
You're very
I'll
much
go
welcome.
then to the next one, and thanks for the invitation. Glad to be part of the Atelier and this year. So just a brief comments. I'm going to start with a brief introduction about Globant, the company that I represent, and so on. Later, we are not getting into technical details about the digital therapeutic space or policies and so on. It's a really dynamic arena and ecosystem that nowadays is having a lot of updates weekly. So my keynote is more related to the new business model that could bring some value for farmers and where the partnership could be. Some reflections, personal opinions, some things taken from Digital Therapeutic Alliance and other papers around there. So the next one, please. Bit background about me as we already have listened through Monica's. I'm a medical doctor, graduated here. I'm located in Buenos Aires, Argentina. Latam, have a Master in Health Economics and MBA, and many years working in pharmaceutical industry, mainly at Pfizer, at Roche, both in Latin America and some project for global and so on. Later, I worked for J&J in rare diseases, and I was the former medical affairs director for AVI past year. So nowadays, I'm part of the Globant Life Science and Healthcare team as a healthcare and life science director. So the next one, please. Globant is many of you maybe have news about it or have listened about Globant, but Globant is a digital technology native company. We provide consulting and technology services to many industries. We are glad to see that there's the brand that maybe you don't know, but we are behind many logos and behind many experience. For example, if you have visited the Disney parks or using the Magic Band, we provide them the development and all the business strategy to Disney. We partnership with Apple to develop selected products that I'll be talking about just a bit as a credential. We have worked with J&J, many different projects. We are part of the principal provider for Google. So basically, we provide technology services, global scale. We have delivery centers in many parts of the world. There you have our presence also worldwide in offices. We are reaching about 30,000 employees, and we are a public ticket in New York, so recognized as a leading company in user services and so on. Next one, please. Just to mention some credentials, and I have discussed briefly about it recently. Through many industries, we have gained a lot of experiences both in developing technological aspects and also digital experiences, and lastly, getting into the healthcare and life sciences scope. Next one. Many of our clients and technologies and industries that we serve, we are getting more into the life sciences. Next one, please. I'm gonna just stop here for 2 minutes. When you see Globant as the company, we do have the digital studios that you see down in the bottom side of this slide. Digital studios are where the expertise of technical expertise is located. For example, if one client, let's say J&J, let's say Abbott, let's say a hospital or provider insurance wants to build some solutions in terms of metaverse for healthcare, we discuss with the metaverse team. and we design a solution with the client. So the digital studios are where all the expertise in the latest technology is located. Then there's the reinvention studio, where I'm part of the life science and healthcare reinvention, that are more expertise of industry that use that technology in the digital space to create solutions. So that is our mainly our description of shop that we are doing. Next one. Getting into the life science scope and healthcare industry, we work nowadays in 4 different verticals. These verticals are really aligned with the pharmaceutical industry value chain. It's not that we serve only the pharmaceutical clients. We also have offerings with other clients, but I just take a moment to discuss and to detail our services in that aspect. The first vertical is related to drug discovery, is applying technology and solutions to accelerate the times of drug discovery, as the title said. The second one is related to decentralized clinical trial, is technology served to help patients and providers and clients to develop, implement clinical trials that nowadays, after the pandemic, it's give us some flexibility by the FDA and EMA to do it in a decentralized way from the patient's home, not only from sites, investigational sites. So building all the technology, all the architectural, all the solutions that enable our clients to do that. We are on that business also. Disease management and value-based healthcare is mainly related to how we help people to stay healthier longer time, how we can help clients to accelerate diagnosis rate of several diseases, for example, rare diseases, oncology, and other description. We also have some offerings related to hospital and healthcare providers that is a specialized site based on digital experiences, pushed by consumers nowadays. It's a big trend. The operational aspect and how we better how we can improve clinical outcomes. And the last one is the go-to-market strategy, PSP, adherence, and engagement models, and so on. To go to the next one, please. Some of our well, I have updated that, so let's go directly to this one. I have other one that I was aiming to show, but I will send the final deck after, so you can have it for all the attendees and so on. Well, as you have seen, maybe you have participated during the whole event. You have seen that there's a lot of trends nowadays that are coming, and is really excited about this. One of those major trends is related to the prescription of digital therapeutics, the digital therapeutic space. You could see there that it's a growing interest, a huge market that is increasing with a cumulative growth rate of 31%, business side 13 billions by 2026. There's more than nowadays 1,000 of clinical trials ongoing around the world, and that date is by July 2021. So nowadays would be more. So it's increasing importantly, and those things that we are going to see the next year as everywhere in the healthcare space. Already about 63 digital therapeutic approved by FDA since 2017. I did not describe the ones that are reimbursed, not reimbursed, and so on, but we can say that already 63 different digital therapeutics approved by the FDA. This week, mainly the EMA space and the FDA have released some important information about classifications and so on. So good to do some research later. So other trends there, you can see that there's care everywhere, value-based care, ambient interfaces, 5G, and so on. But prescription digital therapeutics, according to IDC Futurescape report, is one of the most important trends, and there's some rationale behind it. So let's move to the next one, please. Up today, you could see this. This is barely new. I apologize for the images. It's not so clear, but you could see here by the FDA, the approvals and the kind of approval that they have, different pathways according to the risk, different pathways according to data, different pathways according to the uses. But up today, 63 were approved, mainly a lot in the cardiovascular aspects, other anesthesiology. So then you can do some more research, but let's go for the next one, please. Just to remind us some definition, maybe you have participated in other calls during this event, but it's good to understand that the main important thing in the digital therapeutics definition is that it's a software that provides proven outcomes with evidence. So it's like there has to be a clinical trial, there has to be a claim, it should be proof against a standard. It is not just another app, another software that is sent out in the space, in the stores, in the electrical stores to download. It's not that way. It's that they have to have a protocol, a clinical trial, and it's like we were developing a classic molecule through all the phases. So it has to be no harm and safety analysis, efficacy, and also always against some comparators and so on. When you see the main criteria and use case, you will have that mainly all of those, and according to this classification, that if you want to have a source for understand digital therapeutic space as a broad, you could go to digital therapeutic alliances that has a lot of documentation. But mainly you see the digital therapeutic with three different intentions. The first one is treat a disease, the second one is manage a disease, and the third one is improve a health outcome. According to that, there's different kind of requirements, different kind of regulatory oversights, and different kinds of access. So it's good to understand that. And this is something that is continually evolving. You will see you have to be really all the time checking for new information, because even many of the countries have generalization, but many countries has different regulations nowadays. Most advanced is the US, Germany, France. So also in the Digital Therapeutic Alliance side and page, you can see all the regulatory. In fact, we are as Globant, we are part of the membership of the Alliance as a sponsorship for them and so on. So this is good to a first point of view. Also, when you go there, you will see just a good flow chart about what's the requirement. For example, if the intention of the software aiming to do X, okay, then it is not or is not a digital therapeutic. It's good if you are thinking about developing, or if you are in a pharmaceutical company that want to understand better the arena. Let's go to the next one, please. Some examples, and the last lecture discussed about it also, but there's an example. I just selected KaiQ, the one that KaiQ Health, that they develop a solution that is aimed to the oncology area. And I selected that not because we do not have any contract with them, it's just a disclosure of interest. But I selected that because they have shown, this is a well-established one, they have shown improvement, for example, in one of the most important things, that is the overall survival probability in the cancer space against the usual care. We are not going to discuss against the statistics and so on, but this is how and this is something that is good to see, because they're proving and they are showing hard outcomes, good outcomes. So this is what we are talking about in digital therapeutics. This is the kind of thing that we are talking. It's not another software. Nowadays, there's a lot in the market that are becoming interesting. For example, the treating for atopic dermatitis, and you will see some notice about Psychic, that is a developer for digital therapeutics together with Pfizer. I'm getting into the business model side there. Technological partner and pharmaceutical industry. Atopic dermatitis, for example, that will be one of the major markets next year, with many companies trying to get solutions for patients that suffer for it. adults and childs for cancer treatment that I have recently mentioned you, and also against, again, psychics and Lilly, joining together to develop solutions. There's there's many of digital therapeutics also that are targeting the behavioral health conditions, and many of them are in the cardiovascular space and also in the behavioral space, like neurology and psychiatry. Importantly, there's, you know, that how we deal with some aspect of our behavior in terms of food, healthier lifestyle, and diet and sleep is something that is really correlational with the future chronic diseases, and nowadays is driving a lot of health expenditures. Well, also for the sleep and weight disorders and substance abuse and chronic pain treatment, you can reach many of these ones through the patients that it's. I have used some of the sources from the medical futuristic and also digital therapeutics and so on. Let's move forward, please. So at the very beginning of the topic and the keynote, as the title is, what's for pharma here in the business models. You have seen I came from pharma industry, many years working in major companies and in many latitudes, many geographies. But up to now, I believe what we have been seeing is the classical business model for pharma is the R&D, the scale, the marketing aspects, and so on. But do all the digitalization, and we have seen that also previous to the pandemic, is not something that is a shift post-pandemic. There's a huge interest in building more ecosystem, in try to reach better engagement with physicians, and also try to understand better the patient that they serve. It's not just a commercialization model with a business aim, but it's just is nowadays more related to helping ecosystem of healthcare, helping patients to solve their issues. So that's where patient centricity comes. So digital therapeutics brings some, I believe, fresh air to the areas and to the classic business model for pharma. And I have selected just a few examples of where I believe pharma could have value or could get benefits from the partnerships with digital therapeutic companies or technological companies to develop this kind of digital therapeutics solution. One is related to the patient support programs. Now, patient support programs, you know that there's programs that support in different ways a patient to get the medication, to the affordability issues, and also adherence, or also others are more integral and keep patients informed, keep patients engaged, and imagine what would happen if also, apart from the medication, you could have a digital therapeutic supporting the value proposition for that medication to the patient. Imagine the possibilities of getting data in a good way. We are talking about under security and with privacy and all the regulations, which PRG or HIPAA, and but in a valid way, in a good way, to enrich your understanding for the patient needs, and also engage the patient to treat it in more integrative way. So patient support program and people journey could be a good way, mainly also developing as a part of concierge, for example, the one-stop for patients discussions or for patients contact that nowadays one of the related to one of the most important shift post-pandemic that we are seeing, that is the care anywhere, and the need for patients to have quick solutions and convenience solutions, also convenience as a so what is one of the most important aspects that I believe digital therapeutics could bring value to pharmas. And also this is something that is called there's two big models of pharma. There is, like the literature is around the pill, there is digital therapeutics combined with a pharmaceutical treatment with a classic solution from the industry, or it's just alone, lowly and digital therapeutic. I guess that the most important aspect is with a product. Otherwise, I do not see a lot of value, but maybe do a brand awareness and so on could be. The other aspect is related to evidence generation and what is done in medical affairs that nowadays also do technical capabilities is really could be really easy to take and to extract data from hospital and also from patient sources to understand better their behaviors. But digital therapeutic could be also a hypothesis generator if it's used in that way. Of course, that value proposition is at the core of the business model because adding a digital therapeutic could increase the value proposition of medication, of a therapy. And the last one is related to commercial operations, mainly to time on drugs. And we have seen recently that with the Kaiko solution, a patient with an oncology disease could be more time on treatment. That could be important for pharmaceutical industry. Of course, that the most important thing is the patient's well-being, more solution for them, and data to understand behaviors, to understand the usage, to understand where medication is dropped, why, and imagine also that could be a channel for lastly try to understand better where a product is launched in terms of safety. That is really sub-valorated. So let's go for the next one. We are near the end of the conversation of this keynote, and I put there one of the graphics that I like it the most is it's called a paper it's called a path to validation by Nature. Here it is not it is a proposal, it is not established, but it's good to understand that there's a combination between the classical expertise of pharmaceutical industry in terms of developing phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, that is needed. The expert of pharma industry in representative of patient clinical trials, the expertise of global vision, the expertise of production and the science behind and the commercialization model behind, it is needed. However, the pharmaceutical industry lacks of development of technological solution. And technological solution, I mean basically three things that are the technical expertise, technical validation, technical issues, the clinical of the solution and the clinical outcomes that are going to be combined between the pharma and the technological provider, and usability of a technological application. Usability, for example, that if this digital therapeutic is going to be applied to a patient with rheumatoid arthritis or advanced one, they should have a disability section. They should have been applying and complying with disability requirements, for example. And lastly is the cost. So it's good to see this kind of diagram in terms of, okay, there's some things that need to be validated and conjoined and needs to be assessed. So it's a good starting point to understand how a partnership between a pharma and a digital and a technology company that produces a therapeutic could bring. So let's move to the next one. Some take-home messages, and I around 30 minutes, I believe. We need to have a spot in the digital therapeutic area. If you're listening to this, try to follow closely the spec. Regulations are moving forward. Regulations, something that it's like a gray zone where are not so predictable, and you know that is for pharma companies usually have a clear regulations will allow them to get steps moving forward in that aspect globally and with more decision. So these regulations are moving forward. There is increasing in the therapeutic areas and companies with traditional models jumping in. I have explained recently some examples come from Lilly, from Pfizer. There's other also. Bayer also is getting the fingers into this, and business model that might arise and might be are those related, I believe, to a pharma classical model with all the expertise in science, in global capabilities, and also in the development aspect like phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, together with a technology company that could bring all the expertise in technological developing and so on, with usability, with the technical functionality, and so on. I have also put there like a classic curve of exponential technologies, because this is something that at some point, for example, 2 years ago, we all say, hey, this is a software prescribed by a physician that could treat. I do not believe it. I do not. At that moment, I didn't believe it. That being a classical MD with the mindset of a medical doctor. But at some point, this technology, there's a tipping point that the scale is impossible to go back. So I guess that these kind of things are moving in that direction. So glad to be part of this. The next one, I guess it's the end. I'll be sharing with you the final deck, and thank you.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Lucas. I believe this was the perfect closing session for our flow, just how to take advantage of this partnership and the great examples you showed. Just a quick question or a comment from our audience here before we close this session. Any thoughts on how to empower manufacturers reach pharma in a more efficient manner?
About in digital therapeutic or just manufacturers? All right, no, it is well, we can there's other one with an email, I will put that, but yes, there's we do have some. We have been one of the credentials that we have in Globant in the company is the development of CAR T cell, all the CAR T cell production. We have built the logistical model, the production model, and the global scale to a big pharma company. That case is really relevant for us, because in this space, I know it's the audience is asking about that, but we do have some capabilities I can discuss about that. This case was related to CAR T. That CAR T cells therapeutics has this paradigm of one batch, one patient, that you cannot build a huge batch for patients because the drug is for one patient. So they have tight times, lead times with a cold chain around the globe. So we work with them, and we work with them in a model with machine learning, artificial intelligence, and something that was good, and it was published in the space as a best practices. But you can, I guess that, I know if, no, it's not my email there, but well, people can reach me if they have other doubts and so on.
Yes, we also have your contact information on our website and everything. So if this doesn't answer the question from our audience, then I guess they can drop you an email or drop us an email, and then we'll forward them to you.
Totally.
Yes, exactly. Thank you so much, and thank you for joining and contributing to Biotech Atelier. It was really a pleasure for us to have you here.